Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Ben the Human Plays Vagrus The Riven Realms at the Heart of Ruin DLC. We just learned about... Oh, I just realized I have no more movement. And we're overloaded. If that's the case, we can offload a little bit of our supplies here and we'll take the wood with us. I wonder what the wood costs in scrap heap. I'm making a bit of a gamble. Not that it really matters since we have a ton of money, but I'm making a bit of a gamble that we can sell it for more. I'm grabbing the fighters because I have a feeling we're gonna get into a tussle. All right, we're almost back up to full stats here. We rest up here. Grab some mounts. I should have been grabbing mounts this whole time. And then a lizard as well. I guess based on that, I wouldn't have needed to sell my supplies, huh? Okay, we're going to the wound. In we go. Ooh, that's cool. I was like, I wonder what this art looks like. That's neat. Nothing can prepare the explorers of these haunted lands for the foul stench emanating from the wound. Nor can anyone ever get used to the miasmatic stink. The Great Gorge stretches towards the dark horizon, indifferent to the nausea it causes to passerby. Perhaps it is foolish to assign sentience to the gulch, and yet the pulsating, squirming, living tissue oozing pus that comprises its sides beg to differ. Ugh. Let's explore the perimeter. The wound stretches as far as the eye can see on both sides in all its grotesque glory. Its unnatural, sickly glow is accompanied by a stench that is difficult to describe. A sour, rotting smell akin to the odor of gangrene, and it makes almost anyone gag. It assails the nostrils even through masks or scarves. All this is accompanied by a warmth that somehow feels unnatural. The area around the wound has not fared well since its accursed emergence. Nothing lives in its vicinity, not inside a half mile or so. This region was not particularly flourishing to begin with. Considering the closeness of the dead forest, it comes as no surprise. But now not even the dry, dark, thorny vegetation remains. The rocks themselves appear warped and corroded. At intervals, glowing green motes leave the wound to float for a while, only to land on the barren ground and go out. To be safe, you leave the comitatus further back before you consider any sort of foray into the wound's vicinity. Needless to say, nobody in their right mind wishes to go closer. Scout around the perimeter to assess the wound. Let's do it. The main squad and Javik, you're on thin ice, bud. Let's bring Kreefta back. I miss her. She like never misses. You take a small group and move parallel to the wound's edge and keep a safe distance. It becomes clear fairly quickly that there is nothing to see apart from what you already have. The stench does not relent, and there are no structures or any points of interest, and nothing seems to live here, except for them. The strange twitching, crawling, shaking beings of many appendages that seem to climb out of the great ravine of the wound. There are always at least a half a dozen of them in a 200-foot radius. Their sickly white rubbery skin makes them visible from a good distance in the otherwise dark environment, and their speed leaves much to be desired. But somehow they can still sneak up on you with surprising efficiency. Several times you have to double back rapidly to avoid a confrontation. After a while, you decide that ranging here is utterly futile. That said, you can easily test your mettle against the crawling abominations. Yeah, let's do it. Fight them. I wonder what that gets us. Maybe just some food? There's like bile on the ground. All right, new formation 1. Oops. There we go, new formation 1. Kreefta has replaced Javik. Get a good stab in there. Now get a good shot in there. And then a chain lightning, please. These guys seem to be susceptible to lightning. Or maybe not susceptible, but definitely take a lot of damage from it. I guess I should have seen. They're very weak to bleed, actually, which is kind of interesting. Maybe magic just hurts. This guy's figuring out what to do with the back. Oh, gross! He barfed all over Scornar. I would like to destroy the body. Just like in Shaun of the Dead. Alright, we win. When they're all knocked down, it looks like you win. So if you don't have to destroy the body, you don't necessarily need to go for that. The creatures perish, their bodies falling apart rapidly, ending up as a pile of white goo, then a puddle of ooze. Nothing of value can be gained, so you decide there's little reason to stay. As you are heading back towards the others, you begin to feel an odd ailment taking hold. Oh no! All of you feel nauseous, dizzy, and weak. Perhaps it is the constant stench of this place, or the creatures did something to you surreptitiously during the fight. It may simply be the vicinity of the wound. In any case, you feel worse for wear, just like your companions. Oh, we gained poisoned and weakened. Well, we will search for signs of the wretched wanderer. Do we want to do that now that we're poisoned and weakened? What does poisoned and weakened actually mean? I guess I don't know. It'll be fine. The stench that emanates from beyond your current proximity to the wound is vile and turns your stomach. Few, if any, are willing to brave it. All present have heard tales of the place, and perhaps rightly, consider even the broken terrain before it to no man's land. You and your companions, however, are cut from a different cloth. Though few relish the opportunity, they are willing to move closer to the Great Gouge, in the land that is the wound. The mysterious and wretched wanderer spoke much of these lands, and you will need to find out where he is if you are able to assist Boethius at the bountiful glade. It falls to you to decide if the time is right or if you'd better suited to returning later. Let's do it. That's quite the squad you've decided to pick. I haven't used autofill in like ages. So you guys are poisoned. Oh dang, poisoned is rough. Minus tough, minus accuracy, minus block, minus evade. And then what does weaken do? Some people are more poisoned than others, which is kind of interesting. Well, we're in it to win it now. With your companions gathered, you step forth, and the stench worsens, causing you to recoil involuntarily. Unperturbed, wishing to set an example for your companions, you continue moving out with purpose. It is like a miasma, a sickening reek of a gangrenous character, and it assaults your nostrils. You spare a look back for your companions. It is clear they suffer as you do. Nonetheless, you persevere. You must find signs of the wanderer, what is happening inside, or in the vicinity of the wound. We don't have a scoutmaster or a Venatorus. I succeeded. I meant to actually boost that, but here we are. As you venture closer to the wound, all you can see a familiar, disconcerting sight. The same sluggish, malformed creatures you saw at the bountiful glade. For now they are distant, slithering slowly as they are wont to do. Yet you and your comies cannot help but wonder if they are on a direct course toward you. With a well-consolidated and efficient efforts, finding something of significance close to the wound does not prove difficult. A ragged camp comes into view after a short while of exploring, and even a cursory examination of it makes it clear that it has served but one soul. No more than a long-dead fire in a mottled frayed tent, hardly welcoming. Did it belong to the wanderer you seek? You investigate the tent and what appear to be the belongings left behind inside. Between a meager offering of supplies typical of the wasteland, you find a satchel and check it before reaching inside. Several peculiarly, that's a tough word for me to say, misshapen bones carvings are scattered within, along with some old scrolls and a strange book. Even as you touch it, you cannot help but feel unnerved. Its surface is like supple skin, soft and smooth to the touch in a way that a book should not be. The air is still thick with the putrid gangrenous stench, and when you open it, an uncomfortable silence hangs in the air. It is almost a relief to realize that the bulk of the book is one long, incomprehensible screed. There are semi-legible sections. They rant unsettlingly about a kind of god that is all-powerful, one that shall lead its followers to a paradise beyond mortal comprehension. The rest appears to be gibberish. Then, just when you are ready to put the book down, or burn it, you encounter a section near its end that can be read, so you allow your gaze to follow its scraggly lines. The fools of these lands do not understand. They lack vision. They took from me the followers of the Great Sleeper, the one who walks with us in dreams. All of them are scared, full of inhibition. Yet the ritual must commence. The door must open. The pathway must be established. Master Ood settles not for less. There's a way I know. The ichor inside can be used. Few fathom it. Few comprehend it. How could they? They are raised in comfort, trained to hate salvation and release. Their tales of the wound come from fools and cowards. The Dreamwalker is here with me in my dreams, even now. Awake! It is the burden of the righteous. The way beckons. The page's writings end there. Yet as you flip the page, you see the same words written once more, this time in capital letters. The typography is off, and the words themselves are written with such aggression that they appear to have left an impression on the pages underneath. The way beckons! Gulping, you turn to the last of the pages. Odd bone carvings. Repetitions of a similar phrase and words appear on concurrent pages, though not with the same clarity as the passage you just read. The last page of writing, however, is different. It is written immaculately. Even with his resolve, I admit I feel fear. Fear that the way will be blocked, that the tales of this place are true. Yet I must persevere. This is the path of all who dream by his side must tread. The path to freedom. He will join these realms. He is coming. Faith. Neither the Master nor the Great Sleeper will tolerate less. And I will not fail. I must not fail. Again, a break in the writing, before a reversed repetition of the above sentiment. I must not fail. I will not fail. I am going to the wound now. I feel like the Great Sleeper is definitely inspired by the Cthulhu mythos, with like a lot of the great old ones are sleeping, and if they ever awake, we're absolutely boned. You slowly close the book and look around, setting it on a broken earth before you, if for no other reason than to be free of its unsettling tactile nature. Whatever the man intended to do, clues of it must be nearby. The wound's edge beckons not too distant from the camp, and there can be no doubt. That is where you must venture to close in on whatever truth of this whole debacle there is to grasp at. You can feel it in your very bones. You move with your companions closer to the edge of the wound. Though one might not have imagined it possible, you soon learn that it is. The stench escalates, becoming unbearable. A pungent, vile tang settles on your tongue, and as you approach the edge of the wound, you can see its walls. The gorge's sides appear to be organic, like writhing, sickly red, oozing infected flesh and intestines. They emit foul vapors as well as a pale, unnatural glow. You can now feel an intense nausea, and just because of the stench. No, something else, something unseen is at work here, enveloping you with this esoteric miasma, hampering your thinking and dulling your senses, Without warning, from deep within the wound, disgusting bowels and otherworldly screech pierces the air. Then silence reigns for a few moments before a low groan, like a man suffering, wounded, and dying, follows. The wound's edge is just there, but as you begin to seek out the source of the screeching and groaning, your gaze is drawn to the sluggish creatures you saw earlier. They are converging on your position and do not seem like they have come to parley. Previously unseen abominations have crawled out of the gorge and joined the others in this antagonistic endeavor. You and your companions steel yourself for battle. Okay, a bigger one has joined the fray. That's okay, we've fought this exact battle before. I'm not too worried. We can't stun these guys, so just go for a stabby stab. Nice crit. Let's double up the burn. The miss is not ideal. I didn't kill you. That's kind of a surprise. You two are... One of you is down. Who's Nadir? We'd like her to fire more fireballs. Don't barf on me again. That was gnarly. Okay, he passed his turn. I've been grasped. Let's throw down some wards. I don't know how you can block something that doesn't do damage. Burn has been inflicted. You're dead. Fantastic. The slug-like horrors fall to the last, and you stand victorious. But it is not for long, because even now the unbearable stench still invades your nostrils and mouth, and while the unseen malevolence makes your head spin, some of your companions double over in disgust, barely holding in their last meals. And still you must persevere, so you lead them to the edge of the wound amidst the low, labored groans of agony you heard earlier. After hard-fought minutes, you arrive at its precipice and peer over the edge. Every inch of your being begs you to avert your eyes, but you do not. Its name, the wound, is well earned. Everything inside appears to be the festering innards of a deep festering scar. It writhes. The slippery innards glow with a greenish light, and warm fog hovers over the bottom of the fleshy pit. You nearly faint at the sight of it, but then you see something. It is stuck in the wound's slimy, wet wall beneath you. An outgrowth of a peculiar size and a form that somehow stands out from the rest of the disgusting meat matter. It is from there that the low, agonizing groans emanate. A gross mass of flesh and viscera in a leathery sack grown into the wall, always pulsing, gurgling in a desperate tenor. It has mouths and eyes. That's horrifying. Is that? One of your companions manages before somehow they are cut short by an even more disturbing development. The thing begins to shake and bleat like a wounded animal. It flails with short devolved appendages that might have been arms and legs once. The horrifying realization strikes you. It is birthing something. A pale, slimy thing falls out of a wound-like crevice on the twisted body. A tiny slug-like creature exactly like the ones you have fought, but smaller. It falls from the abomination's mass, and you realize that it is not alone. Your gaze follows its trajectory to the bottom of the wound. It does not die when it hits the crimson liquid that pools at its foggy bottom. Instead, it joins others such as itself, many others. They fight among each other, their tentacles lashing out in a sickening symphony of life corrupted and twisted. The bolder ones eat the weaker, and the wounded begins to fuse together. Wounded fuse together, sorry. You look away because you have to, but as you do, once again the monstrous growth of what was clearly once a man screeches anew, its malformed fleshy mass of faces coming to horrifying life. You look away. Is this what became of the Wanderer? In a moment of realization, everything comes together. Despite the stench and the horror you now all witness, you know that you must kill this thing, this abomination. It has to be the source of the creatures that beset the bountiful glade. Not to mention that its mere existence is an affront to life and sanity. Use whatever means you and your companions have at hand to kill it from here. I don't think we can kill it from here. You try everything in your arsenal. The monstrosity screeches and groans and hisses, but ultimately it remains largely unaffected. Any wound it sustains heals instantly with no lasting scars or real damage. An exceedingly irritating development. As the process lengthens, the creature's agony seemingly endless, you and your Komes are also drawn into the suffering. You need not screech or wail in agony like the monstrosity, but your very will is tested. The unbearable stench and the strange malaise worm their way into your senses. You fall to one knee in desperation. Your chest heaves and your vision swims. A hand finds your shoulder, one of your companions, and it pulls at you. The intent is clear. It is there to pull you back from the brink. You can hear your other Komes too. They plead with you to leave this place. Any attempts to bring the Wanderer to his ultimate doom seem futile. You must leave now, they say, before your life is forfeit. Let's go back to the Comitatus for a bit. To escape this place is a relief that everyone present shares. The stench continues its unbearable assault for now, but at least you are free of the horrifying screams and the malicious energies at the wound's precipice. Even as you walk back, the conversation brings to the fore one crucial fact. You must tell Boethius of your findings here. There could be another way to deal with the abomination and the creatures it births, or at least that is what you tell yourselves. The crew seems almost surprised to see you return. There is no time for explanations or stories, not now. You do not have the heart for it. You tell your Komes to make preparations to depart and ready yourself as best you can. All right, well, we have to go back and tell Boethius what that was about. I'm glad I didn't try to climb down to the thing. I had a feeling that if it was gonna be kind of like the endless tower, you know, the tower that like changes shape constantly. I thought if you pushed it too far, you might like just straight up die. This game has a penchant for doing that. All right, let's go back to Boethius. We'll talk to the expeditionaries another time. Let's talk to Boethius about what happened at the wound. The proprietor of House Thalanis is silent, left hand on his forked beard, while he listens to your horrifying tale of what happened at the wound. He does not ask questions as the tale continues apace. A concerned, mildly fearful expression clouds his features. Well, this situation with the wound sounds dire indeed. Gods, I cannot imagine what horrors you saw. It seems our efforts to unburden the bountiful glade of these ghastly creatures must fall by the wayside, unless you and your companions watch the corpulent fellow while his discerning eyes look up, exploring the contours of the pavilion's patterned cloth above him. A silence hangs in the air while you wait for him to articulate himself further. Unless you source a mage who might offer you powers in the arcane that can transcend this wretched wanderer, no man, however cruel, misled, or foolish, should suffer this fate, Boethius says for the first time with confidence. You would be doing him and the glade a service if you can find another way. I do believe there is one such mage, or wizard, in Avernum. I've met that guy. Powerful fellow, I've heard, he muses. Lives in a big obsidian tower. Oh yes, very majestic, you see. The name, however, escapes me. You tell Boethius that you have already met the mage. Well then, you have no problem tracking him down, I suspect. All's well that ends well and all that, eh? You ask him how he imagines you getting to Avernum without the ability to travel south. Don't be coy, dear Vagrus. Positively everyone has heard of your exploits. Your ability to travel through the realm gates is all the talk around here. Though truthfully, I have no idea how you've proven so lucky, he says with gumption. Perhaps you've garnered the favor of the gods, he speculates, inflecting his voice into a question. A lack of an answer spurs him to drop the topic. Good luck out there. Looks like we'll see this sad, depraved wanderer freed from his bondage. After all, and spare no expense for this mage fellow. Tell him that House Thalanis will cover any costs. Spare no expense, I say. And do remember to report back to me when you've finished, won't you? You tell Boethius that you will do that. We would like to get the wood, by the way. Thank you. And then return to camp. Talk to the expeditionaries. It didn't do anything. Last time I do that. All right, let's load up on food. Just because we can. You guys got any more beasts? I'll just load up on mounts. Mounts are useful. And then we'll head back towards Scrap Heap here. And then yeah, I was gonna say the astrolabe is probably recharged. So I wonder if we want to, I don't know why I did that. I wonder if I want to consider heading back through the realm gate. Our factions, we do want to rest up, I think, to get our movement back. You guys like wood? We'd be selling it at a loss, so I will not be doing that. However, I can't store. Oh, I can just store people. That's a bit unfortunate. Well, maybe we can take this stuff through. I'll be surprised if they let me take stuff through the realm gate. The last thing we'll do here. Last thing we'll do here is go check out the realm gate and see what they'll allow me to get away with. Because I think it's highly unlikely that we can take our beasts through. Head over to the gate. Yes. We'll need to leave extra crew, so we can only have 41 companions. We have 78. We have to leave all of our beasts behind. Okay, so I'm gonna head back to Scrap Heap and sort that out. And then next episode, we will head back over to the other side of Zareen, and then we'll go talk with Nadir's old mentor. Maybe we can pick up some people to help the well diggers as well. And then we can also, while we're over by Avernum, we can look for the dwarf that disappeared. Do you remember the dwarf? If I pull open my journal, not the Kingmaker. Not Decimus. What was it? Yes, find Barundar's camp, probably located in southern Tarar Barak, south of Quathos. Ah, there it is. So that'll actually be a little past the Burnham, but we'll go to the west side of the desert and we'll go seek out some of that information next episode. So if you guys enjoyed the episode, please click the like button. It helps me out a lot. If you want to see more episodes of Vagrus The Riven Realms or the other videos I have going on the channel, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you have your notifications on so you know when the next videos go live. But until next time, everybody, I hope you had a good one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye, everybody.